You're watching a Throttle House track test.
Look at that!
Welcome back to the Throttle House test track, our very own corner of the earth where we can drag race and set lap times. I'm Thomas.
And I'm James, and today we have three cars that have three different philosophies, and yet they're pretty close in price. So we want to see how they perform on the track. Now, we already know from previous tests this season that the normal all-wheel drive Model 3 crushes the M2 Competition in a drag race, and that the RS3 crushes that same Model 3. So now all we have to find out is if the Model 3 Performance can avenge its non-performance brother against the Audi.
And yes, the M2 is going to sit this one out because A, I can't bear to see it lose again, and B, it's rear-wheel drive in a manual. It was never going to win anyway. Also, it's already lost in a rolling race to the normal Model 3, so it's basically just going to sit in the corner and plot its revenge for the track.
Today is about performance. One track, three cars, and luckily for the rear-wheel drive BMW, it's nice and dry. So, the Audi RS3. And yes, obviously the TTRS exists, but the RS3 is a better match in price and interior space for the other two. Okay, some RS3 numbers. A turbocharged inline 5 that delivers 394 horsepower and 354 pound-feet of torque to all four wheels via Audi's Quattro system. And while it doesn't look like it, this little thing can hit 60 in under 4 seconds. Today it's on stock Pirellis and is technically the lightest of the three. So let's have at it, Model 3 Performance.
With pleasure. And without hardship, because with recent software updates this is now pushing over 470 horsepower. So this dual motor Tesla loves to make short work of just about anything off the line. And since this is the Performance Model 3, it also has lowered suspension, 20-inch wheels, bigger brakes, and sitting on Michelin Pilot Sport 4S's, a tire that's proven itself many times already at this track. So not only does the Model 3 face this drag race with a calm smile, it's also ready to show its worth on the racetrack.
That leaves the M2 Competition. 405 horsepower, 406 pound-feet of torque, and powered by a 3-litre twin-turbo inline 6. It can be had in a DCT, but today we have the manual. It's a car we've had on the channel before, and it's one of our favourite sports cars on sale right now, rear-wheel drive or otherwise. As mentioned though, it's going to sit this drag race out and wait for these silly billies to finish their squabble and then meet them at the track.
You know what to do. Subscribe, hit the bell. You'll see our videos as soon as they come out. Also, for more cool stuff, Instagram, @The Throttle House. Okay, Model 3 Performance. So this has technically more power than James's car, but it's 400 pounds heavier. So, I don't know. Both all-wheel drive. Obviously, this is the dual motor, so it's... I've never launched an all-wheel drive Performance, like flat out on a drag strip. I'm super, super excited to see what this thing can do in a straight line. And I'm super excited to beat James, because I've noticed a trend where he keeps giving me the cars that lose.
Okay, in the RS3. Now I've been here before and I've crushed the normal Tesla Model 3 all-wheel drive. So this is the Model 3 Performance's chance to beat me. I don't know what happens here. Well, I know that whatever happens, I get to listen to the sound of a glorious 5-cylinder, and that's good enough for me.
God, this car is fast.
I'm hooked up. Oh, he's absolutely crushed me.
And he doesn't have a chance. I've absolutely dusted him. Absolutely dusted him.
And he's still going. I haven't got a chance. Not a chance. I'm not even slightly going on him.
I won a race. I did a thing, 199 kilometers an hour at the finish line. Woo! This is a fast car.
I didn't stand a chance.
You didn't stand a chance.
You got faster and faster and faster. And I know the launch looks slower on this, but that's because mine has to spool up the engine and go and light some fires in there.
I just took off. Like it was instant. It was instant. The acceleration was the same all the way to the finish line. That was a good launch. Did we accidentally put Thomas in a car that wins?
I had this amazing scheme where you'd look bad for weeks and weeks and weeks. But then I planned your redemption. Yeah, I planned your
planned our
redemption,
redemption.
and now everyone thinks you're a legend.
Thanks, James.
Let's see how this goes on the track, though.
Let's do it. All right, Tesla Model 3 performance. We're in track mode, which means that it doesn't recognize the Throttle House test track as public property, which means that we're worthy. I've been dying to test this thing on the track because I really want to see what it's capable of here.
Okay, in the RS3. So what have we got? 394 horsepower, 5 cylinders, an excellent sound. You come around the corner, put the foot down. Lovely lights on the dash, telling me when to shift. That feels good. That feels good, and such a lovely little package. And the power is there in droves. The brakes feel great. So this car only comes with a 7-speed dual clutch automatic, which I have to be honest, the shifts are incredible. I have nothing to complain about.
First thing you notice, unbelievable torque coming out of the corner. I know I'm used to it in a straight line now, but you just plant it. And it just goes. Just ridiculous power. Ridiculous. So quiet, 170 kilometers an hour.
It feels smaller. It feels smaller than the M2 Competition. Yeah, I see. So what I just felt there, Audis have a reputation for something, and a lot of that is a result of the engine sitting in front of the front axle, so the weight distribution is off compared to the BMW. And also the Hotlaps system has been accused of being too front biased, which results in something that rhymes with Schmunderschmier. But Audi said no with this new generation of RS3, not today. But they have staggered the tyre setup in an unusual way. The front tyres are now wider than the rear tyres, and that's to cause oversteer, and that's their way of battling the understeer.
All right, let's see what she's got. The track mode actually uses the regen braking when you come off the throttle to put some weight over the front, something that I would naturally do using the brake, left foot braking, or just by backing off the throttle to put weight over the front, but it kind of does it for you, so you gotta get used to that. It's a bit weird, actually. Diving it in, a little bit of understeer there. Let's see what we can't make happen.
This system can send 100% of the power to the rear wheels, but only if the front wheels have absolutely no traction whatsoever, whether it's on ice, think hanging off the edge of a cliff. Otherwise, it maxes out at 50-50. Although Audi will tell you it does 100% to the rear, it's not quite as simple as that. It's a bit more complicated.
Steering feels really good, actually. The center of gravity is very obviously low. One thing, though, that I've noticed is that this suspension is not stiff enough to manage the weight of this body. Even though I'm in the performance and it's lower and stiffer, it's not enough. I'm getting so much lean and like there's so much weight transfer all around the car. I'm having to really focus to deal with it. The car feels actually fairly well balanced, but the natural balance of the car is interrupted by the computer, the brain of this Tesla, trying to do some stuff for you, and that's what I don't like. I don't want it to do anything for me. I just want to drive the car however it is naturally existing. Wherever the weight is, I want to control that. I'm kind of fighting with it. All right, can you drift an all-wheel drive Tesla Model 3? Let's find out. Quite easily, in fact, quite easily. There was no throttle modulation, it was just foot flat to the ground and control it with the steering. That's, you know what, that's fun. That's different, that's different.
Yeah, there's still understeer. Still an Audi is the news. But boy, does it have power! 160, and braking, the brakes feel great. It lets itself down on these corners. Oh, it's catastrophic understeer there. I'm sorry, even with the staggered setup, it does not fix the problem.
And there are aftermarket defeats for completely defeat the traction control, but right now track mode is letting me do a little bit of sliding and that's it. One thing I've noticed is that any amount of brake that I apply will overload those front tires in the corner and it will understeer. I can't use the brakes to rotate it.
Okay, let's see what happens when I plant my foot in second gear around this corner. Nope. There you go, lost the back a bit there. It's fighting me though.
It's really being nice to you. It's really being nice to you. You kind of can't mess that up. And you know what? If this is the start of electric cars being made for fun, not just A to B, it's a good start. It really is.
I've always thought of this car as kind of a Golf R on crack, and that is exactly what it is. So if you like the Golf R and you like the idea of a sleep, this is such a sleeper, man. Like, you see this driving around the city, and it is, no one knows what this can do. However, I wonder if the power and the torque of this car is enough to overcome that understeer problem in the track test. And we'll see what Thomas can get out of the car. As far as I'm concerned, this car remains an all-wheel drive, all year round masterpiece of a car, but it doesn't belong on the track. Not the way the M2 Competition does.
All right, M2 Competition. And immediately, guess what? Guess what?
What, you just got out of the Tesla Model 3?
Tesla Model 3, which was good.
And I just got out of the RS3.
I'm sorry to say, everybody.
What, James is dead? Come on.
Oh my God. The engine, the front end grip, the steering, it's just incredible. Also, it's a manual, therefore more fun.
Even the DCT of this car is great though.
It is actually.
Oh,
and it would be probably faster around here, but...
Yeah, but we'll never know because you're going to get us killed on this corner. That is not necessary.
All right, should I slide? Should I do a slide?
I mean,
I'm gonna do a slide. Yeah, it wasn't actually a question, I was just being nice.
that's what I figured.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's this got? 405 horsepower.
Yep.
Is
Inline six.
It's technically not as powerful as the Tesla.
And it makes this noise.
Both hands on the wheel, please. It is slightly more powerful than the RS3. While the RS3 could write a book on understeer,
This doesn't even know what understeer
doesn't
is.
know what understeer is.
It's not even sure.
This is the most fun of the three. It belongs on the track more than the other three,
Easily.
at least for driving dynamics and enjoyment. I can't, we haven't done the Hotlaps yet because it doesn't match the other two in acceleration.
No, it doesn't. Coming out of the corner, I can feel that I'm fighting to put the power to the differential is doing a fantastic job of getting it to
But
both
going
wheels.
into the corner,
Going into the corner, I can carry more speed with this car.
Yeah.
Straight up.
so it's a real question mark on what's going to happen with the Hotlaps, but this is just an excellent car on the track. Because you can do that. I tried to do that in the RS3. I tried.
I know, and you can't. I tried to do it too earlier.
It doesn't let you do
can't.
it. It doesn't let you do
The
it.
Tesla does, though, surprisingly. To be fair, you could do like a big lift-off oversteer slide in the RS3. We don't have a spot to do that at this track. But that's not really the point. The point is like, how easy is it? How controllable is it? And nothing that I have driven, honestly, other than a prepped drift car, can do a slide like this thing.
You know what the weirdest thing is though? On anything other than a track, I'd take the RS3.
I don't think I would. I would deal with not having all-wheel drive just for that and for just the directness of every aspect of this car. It feels small, it feels compact, and it feels sharp. As a result, though, it feels a little bit like dangerous sometimes.
If you had to have two of these three cars, the Tesla and the RS3 are the most interchangeable.
Yes.
So you'd want one of those and the M2.
I would probably do the Tesla.
Right, just because of the benefits like charging and stuff like that. Yeah.
I would do the Tesla and then this for the weekends. I'm an inline six guy. I love the way this revs. It reminds me of an E46
Is that not the
M3.
lamest comment ever?
What?
I'm an inline six guy. I bet if you were single, that would be on your Tinder, and you would get nowhere with it.
I think I would get.
You'd get one car girl.
They'd be
you'd get
pouring
one
in my
car
door.
girl, and her name would be Damien.
I'd have to have a hose to keep them off my front step. You don't even know.
Oh God. And we love featuring this car because it can just go up against so many things. It's a staple at about the 75,000 Canadian mark. And like, you know, if you want to see more cars, let us know what you want to see. Again, everything you see in these reviews is just me and Thomas, whether it's the organization, the editing, the filming, it's just the two of us. We do get some help from some friends with the drone flying and organizing like the food and the water, making sure that we're hydrated. We forget to have water on days like this, but it's just us, all right? It's not a huge team. Bear with us, we're putting out the best stuff we can. All right, well, this is all pretty subjective now, and we're just talking about what we enjoy the most, which is important, but let's let the hot laps speak for themselves.
Let's do it.
Okay, hot laps. So it's gonna be 1 warm-up lap, 3 hot laps, and 1 cool-down lap. And Thomas is starting in the Tesla Model 3 Performance. Let's see how this goes.
Okay, time for the hot laps. Now remember, our test track is very tight and twisty, and handling is prioritized over power here. Also, the majority of that tire squealing you hear is coming from the Tesla and the Audi, as I struggle to get them around the really tight corners. Now, let's see who comes out on top.
Okay, so we just did the hot laps.
We did.
Well, you did.
I did.
And therefore, I don't know. Thomas likes to wait till this moment.
This is my favorite part of the day. I don't tell anybody. Nobody that's here on the day knows these times except for me, and this is the best part of my day.
He comes back after every hot lap with the cheekiest face of just like, I know something.
Okay, are you ready? Are you ready for this? This is exciting, actually.
Well, this is ranked right now in order of price.
What do you want to know first in terms of time?
RS3.
The RS3 did, and this isn't slow around here, a 114.89.
Wow, okay.
That's pretty good.
That's basically the same as the Civic Type R?
Yeah, more or less.
Okay.
Yeah, that's actually a really quick time, right? That's a good time.
Yeah.
Okay, now the M2 Competition.
Which in the past has done 113.9?
Yes.
Okay.
And
so we already
so this
know
is a 114.8. You ready? This was a 113.5.
Wow. Thomas is getting better.
No, the track is getting better. I'm the same. Okay, now the moment of truth. The Tesla. So.
Right, what we got?
114.8, 113.5, and this was, drum roll please, 113.9.
Wow. Wow.
There you go. So the M2 Competition beat the Tesla around here. Do you want to know why?
Why?
It's just a really good car. This is just such a good car. It just turns so well. I was fighting understeer with the Tesla so much, but I could blast out of the corners in a way that my brain has never experienced before, so it could make up the time exiting the corners.
That's unbelievably close.
That is unbelievably close between these two.
You couldn't even drift this.
No, I couldn't drift this.
This
understeered a lot
as well.
Yes, but you can power oversteer because of the way that it shifts the power.
Right.
It's still very good, but this is just a better chassis. It's just a better chassis, straight up. There you go.
There you go. Yeah. Thanks for watching.